So, ladies, why do you support the Leave Means Leave campaign?
Well, we believe in freedom and we believe in democracy, and we love our country, Britain, and we just want it to be free from the EU organisation.
Exactly the same. I think Parliament is ignoring the vote of the people, and supporting a second referendum is undemocratic.
17.4 million people voted to leave, and that is the majority of this country, and I want that vote to be honoured by our government.
And what do you think will happen if there's a second referendum forced on us by Parliament?
That would definitely be the worst scenario, but if needs be, she'll have to fight again and fight for the Leave Means Leave cause.
I do think that we would win again, personally. Yeah, I mean, we are preparing for this.
So you're with Diane Abbott on this one then?
Definitely.
Yes, she did say that, yeah. Careful with what you wish for, because, yeah.
I mean, that's what happened the first time, and it's the one thing I agree with her on, you know.
People are researching a lot more now. They go into the internet, they can check the treaties, they can read books, and we're more informed than before, but informed about who the EU are rather than any other, just irrelevant things, really.
So what is it about the European Union that you find to be undemocratic?
Well, first of all, it's an institution, it's an entity that was created by a group of people like Jean Monnet and his friends, his best friends, all of them just politicians and businessmen interested in taking over Europe, which is exactly what they have done by deceiving the people of this country and of every other country into joining in, not reading the treaties. Too late, after they have signed, they read them. We have all given up our sovereignty and all our rights.
Absolutely. All I was going to add is that he envisaged a United States of Europe, and I think that if the peoples of Europe actually knew that truth, they would be horrified just as we are. And once the EU army is put into place, I really think that will be the end.
Well, the EU army's never going to happen. I've been reliably informed by the BBC, The Guardian and The Independent. I mean, how on earth could you say that with a straight face?
No, it's unbelievable how they want to just hide this incredibly important information from the public, and I think that's just complete deception.
It's unconscionable, is it? But thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Cheers. Hey, right, so you support Leave?
Yeah, I'm a Leave voter. I support, the Leave MPs in there. They're trying to get this through, because we can't just leave it to the last minute and then, it's going to be. We don't want chaos. We're a civilized society, as you know.
We're not French.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't want chaos because ensuing and a frustrated society. So, I'm with the guys like Rees-Mogg. I've spoken to him. I've met him, and he seems to have a good plan as well. There should have been a Leave PM from the start.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there should have been. It should have been a Leave PM, in my opinion. Because if you hit Theresa May, she's a Remainer.
And she's weak.
And she's very weak. She's a bureaucrat, And she's, kudos to her, though. She does, she's stuck in a place, isn't she?
She's really made a pig's ear of it. I mean, most people would have quit long before ruining it this badly.
Exactly. So she does have some characteristics that she's, but, how long has she been kicking the can down the road, basically, yeah? So, I actually agree with Rees-Mogg. Rees-Mogg said that we live on WTO. We can trade with 163 countries rather than just, 27. And we can have far more of our trade and good relations with the US, North America. And I think we'll be more prosperous in the long run. We will do. It might be a little bit shaky in the first few months, but, overall, things will be cheaper. People are talking about, no food on the shelf. Things will, we've battled in the past and things have been fine. But in my opinion, things will be cheaper. There'll be less tariffs and etc.
People don't realise the markups from the EU tariffs already. They don't know. Yeah.
Huge. They were saying on trainers, the cost is about £15, or the manufacturing cost about £12. By the time it gets into the store, or the shop, the shop basically, it's about £40-50, and probably half of that goes to the EU. Yeah, So things will be cheap. Food will be cheaper, guys. Things will be a lot cheaper. But there is a new development. I was just telling Sargon now. This morning they've come up with what's called the Malt House agreement or compromise.
Right, I haven't had time to keep up on this yet.
So I've been online this morning. I've been checking what's going on. And it seems that Jacob Rees-Mogg is signed up with this as well. So he's agreed with that, as have many Leave MPs as well. And what it is that they are no hard border in Northern Ireland, but there's going to be different trade arrangements in Northern Ireland to the UK. So there seems to be some kind of compromise and toing and froing going on, because there is a stalemate right now, and the EU's not giving any concessions. You know, I mean, how many times does May have to go to Europe?
Well, they've been intransigent for 2 years.
Yes, so plan A, plan B, plan C. Yeah, I mean, yes. Or is that the plan, guys? Is that the plan?
Well, I mean,
she's such, you know, is that the plan? Because I'm questioning the plan now, you know?
Is she a plant? Yes, you know, because I mean, ultimately I wanted a no-deal Brexit.
Yes.
So
maybe they all want a no-deal Brexit, but they're just, you know, yeah, I mean, it's a game of chess, isn't it?
I think I'll put it down to incompetence.
They're playing chess, not checkers, you know what I mean? They're playing, well, checkers, excuse the pun.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're that competent. I think
I agree with you, Sargon. I don't think they're that clever, actually, you know, yeah.
But, right, okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, nice to see you,
Yes,
and I'll
you
chat
too.
to you later.
Yes, you will.
Bye, guys.
So why should we leave under WTO rules?
We should leave under WTO rules because it's not going to be a cliff edge, it's going to be a little step upwards. It only looks like a cliff edge to a worm. And people don't realise, it's like Y2K2. The actual amount of disruption to trade is going to be very, very small. There's no reason why we couldn't have an arrangement with the EU on the Article 24 of GATT, which says that countries can take up to 10 years to renegotiate trade deals. And so we could just continue on the existing arrangements with the EU. The EU, don't forget, is a signatory to GATT, and all the countries within it are, and Britain is also a signatory to GATT. So none of that stuff will end when we leave. It's not going to be a cliff edge.
Do you think there's going to be any kind of obstructionism from the European Union themselves on that, though?
Insofar as there is obstruction, that is going to cost them dear, because we have a £92 billion trade deficit with the EU. So it's going to hurt EU businesses hard, and it's going to cause unemployment. I've heard figures of up to 750,000 unemployed in Germany if they seriously try to obstruct trade with the UK. It's going to have very serious consequences, and Germany's possibly about to go into a recession. They don't have the freedom to do that. It's very bad for their business as well as ours, and they'd be very foolish to do it. My view is that we had to leave without a deal because they were never going to offer us a decent deal, because they don't want us to leave. But once we do leave without a deal, I think that quite quickly they will return to common sense and say, hang on, we want to have good business relations with the UK. We actually depend on it. These countries can trade with each other as WTO members. Don't forget, the EU is a WTO member, so there's no reason why we can't continue all of the trade on that basis.
It's actually very similar to Ireland. Brexit's probably going to turn Ireland into from a net contributor into a net debtor with the European Union, so they're going to need more German and French money.
Well, that's right, and I think that when we had the talk last week of the backstop actually being in the English Channel, because Ireland's economy is so hooked in with the UK, and the UK economy matters more to Ireland than any other economy, I think that's also what's going to happen. Ultimately, the numbers count, and the business counts, and the money counts, and so common sense will prevail. And all of this fuss about how there's going to be a hail of frogs and meteor strikes. And, we've seen it all, super gonorrhea, sandwiches shortage, all of these things. Everyone can see now, everyone in this country can see that the press and our politicians are lying to us on a huge scale to try to scare us into doing what they want to feather their own nests, rather than doing what they know we voted for and what they probably know we will vote for again. Hopefully we won't have to. Even if we were to lose a second or third referendum, however you look at it, why should we pay any attention to it? They haven't actually bothered to deliver what we voted for in the last referendum. So let's deliver that first, and after a few years, I think that probably another vote might be due in about 2057, I think, if the interval's the same. It's 2057, so we've got a long time to go before
the EU is not going to last that long.
I agree with you. There won't be an EU. There won't be an EU. But I hope there will be a great group of trading nations with a great network and a structure that enables countries to retain their sovereignty, but to trade effectively and to get on well and to have good structures, including NATO, that help to keep the peace. And all of those countries individually watching their borders and making sure that each of the countries in Europe is an example to the world of how to run a proper, free, democratic, accountable country. If we have that, then I think people will look back on the period of the European Union and see, just as we look back on the Soviet Union, and see that it was madness.
I think that is a bloody inspirational vision for the future of Europe, in my opinion. That is exactly what I'd like to see. Thank you very much.
A Pleasure talking to you. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Right, so you are very proudly British, I would say.
I'm very, very proud to be British. I live in this country for more than 20 years. Originally, I'm from Ghana, Commonwealth country. They gave me a refuge to live here, so I always support them. So when it came to the referendum, I voted leave. The reason I voted leave, I want Britain to be great again. I want Britain to be independent, run their own affairs, not the Brussels to run their affairs. And I want Britain to engage more with the Commonwealth countries, which I'm one of them. Because since they joined European Union, I think Britain is a bit slow to engage with the Commonwealth. So that's why I'm here, dressed up from top to toe, Union Jack, to come and support the event.
Right, that's fantastic. So I guess one thing I suppose I should ask is, did you find any an excess of racism or xenophobia surrounding the Brexit vote?
No. I think it went smoothly. And then leave, we won. So once we won, it's up to our lawmakers to honor what? To honor the referendum. Democracy means democracy, so they have to honor the democratic process. Otherwise, then you should stop even voting for general election, So they have to honor it. Brexit means Brexit, leave means leave.
Totally agree. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm
Cheers.
Joseph.
Oh, thank you, Joseph.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right, I'm here with Gerard Batten, leader of UKIP. Gerard, how do you find that it's all going?
Well, outside here it's great. We've got lots of people turning up, waving their flags, saying they want to leave the European Union. Inside there we've got a majority of traitors, quislings and collaborators who don't want it to happen.
That's bold language. Do you think they're going to object?
Unvarnished truth, I think, Carl. What are they voting on now? They're going to vote on these amendments that say that if Mrs May hasn't got this mythical deal with the EU by the 26th of February, they are going to then pass another amendment which requires her to go off to the European Union and ask for Article 50 to be extended until the 31st of December this year. I hate to say it, but I'm proved right in what I've said all along. They will do everything they can over there to delay and impede the whole process with the objective of overturning it in the long run. I hope very much they don't get their amendments through tonight. If they do, I'm going to wait and see what the result is tonight, but in my pocket I have a royal petition which I'm going to submit to the monarch, saying that our membership is unlawful anyway, that they are thwarting the will of the people, and requesting her to prorogue Parliament, which means that it won't then meet until after the 29th of March. Now, the withdrawal bill says that we leave, the Withdrawal Act says that we leave on the 29th of March. The EU treaties say, Article 50 says that if you haven't reached a withdrawal agreement 2 years after Article 50 has been triggered, then the treaties cease to apply. So under our law we've left, and under their law we've left. So whether she'll do that or not, I don't know, but that is something for her to think about.
Right, okay. So what do you think of the odds of us going the crashing out with no deal is how they tend to phrase it, but I mean that sounds far more sinister, doesn't it?
I know it's the use of language and terminology. If you've just done 43 years in prison and the door opens,
we're going to crash out.
With crashed out. Hey, I'm free.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you think the odds of it coming along are?
What of it? Of a no deal?
Yeah.
Well, I've always said there was never going to be a deal. I mean, there could have been the week after. We could have said to them, "We've left. We've repealed the 1972 Act. We've now left, but don't worry. You can have continued tariff-free trade. You can have equal rights for citizens, and then we're going to repeal and amend all the derived EU law in our priorities and timescales." That didn't happen. It could still happen, but there never was going to be this mythical good deal. It just was never going to happen.
Because it just seems like a Remainer way of effectively trying to stay in without, having really left.
Well, it's right. You see, when after the referendum, they couldn't say, we're not going to do it. They had to find a way of not doing that. So what they've done, we must ask the European Union. They say we can't do it. So they've shifted the onus onto the European Union rather than accept responsibility themselves. But as I say, they don't want to leave. Mrs May's a Remainer. Mrs May is either utterly, totally incompetent as a negotiator, or she's the most cunning politician ever, because this is an all elaborate plan in order to make it impossible for us to leave. We won't know the answer to that for a while, I don't think.
I think the answer is she's incompetent. I'm not going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I think she's been incompetent in everything else she's done in government, so it's not a bad bet.
Yeah. Right, well, Jared, thank you very much.
Cheers.
You have a very nice protest sign.
Yes, it does show all the problems there are with the European Union. And if we look on it, okay, first of all, we have got the debt with which the European Union is laden, in particular Italy, of course Greece as well. Greece is also shown here as the vomiting
the sick man of Europe, yeah.
Sick man of Europe. And we see lots of other problems with it. For example, the regulations which are strangling a man hanging there.
A businessman in a suit, it looks like.
Yes. We have got Merkel on the high tower, on the watchtower, inviting more immigrants, and also showing the way, I guess. We have got Hurricane, which is the economic failure, partially, of course, caused by the euro which doesn't give any escape valve, regulation valve with different currencies that were there before the euro. We have got the Brussels Eurocrats being a big problem, and there is also some globalist agenda, globalists who are asking for diversity, pushing diversity at us. We have political correctness as a shark in the water, also trying to snap at the sinking ship.
And the poor Swedish man who's being pushed off the plank.
Yes, that's right. And most of all, we have got the Britain escaping into the sunset on their own little intact boat. That's what we want, Brexit.
Right, so you're pro-Brexit and you're not a Brit, so I think that a lot of people are going to ask you why.
Yeah, so I did come 19 and a half years ago from Germany. I still have German citizenship, and I also have British citizenship, have had for 2 years. And my main problem, besides all of these, is really that the European Union, that the Commission is not democratic. I mean, all powers lie in the Commission, very few in the Council and the Parliament. And yeah, we want these guys to make our laws, though they're not doing it that nicely at the moment, have lots of excuses. That's what we want in the end.
Right. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.